I'm sorry that people are so jealous of me, but I can't help it that I'm popular.
Hey, hello, my name is Christian. I'm a youth worker in Carlisle and the surrounding villages. If this is your first time checking us out, very extra super duper welcome to you. If you're back for more, then fantastic. Do like, subscribe, do all those things that we always ask about, just because it helps the channel a little bit, but it also means that we can have a conversation, because we don't want these videos to just be a one way of communication. We want this to be a conversation, a back and forth. So hit us up either in the comments below or DM us on Carlisle Network Youth Church's Instagram, which is Carlisle NYC, or Hebron's Youth Ministries Instagram, which is hebronec.youth. So we'd love to hear from you. We also want this really to be a conversation, and we want to keep this conversation going, and I think that's massively important. So last week when we posted a video with some resources of how to help us to start thinking and processing and working towards being anti-racist, one of the big learnings I think that we're having is that there's a difference between not being racist and being anti-racist, about being proactively against racism. So we're still wanting to have that as a conversation. So we're putting all the resources that we have, and we're pulling them together. So if you have some, if you've seen a link, if you've seen a website, if you've seen an Instagram account, if you've seen a YouTube video, then let us know. Comment below so that we can put it to that list. It's going to be on our website. We'll link to that in the description below. And we're going to keep talking about this, but today through that lens of a word called faithfulness. And I know that word is often thought of like more in romantic relationships, and that's where it's talked about as, oh, they were unfaithful, or they weren't faithful in a negative sense. But it's a much bigger word than that. So we're going to look into that a little bit. And Sophie's also coming along. She's got a really funny clip from the movie Mean Girls that you've already seen just a little snippet of. And then, of course, we're going to have some top 5 TikToks at the end. But now we're going to head over to Brian for another Scottish word.
Hi everyone, we're going to do a Scottish word in a little moment, but I guess you might be thinking it's a little bit odd that we're doing it this week in light of the Black Lives Matter movement, the thinking we've been doing on racism, and our own thinking around our thoughts and attitudes towards the BAME community that you might have been undergoing. Why am I doing a light-hearted segment about saying a word in a non-Carlisle accent? Well, I guess part of this is to celebrate diversity. As we look and listen to each other, as we identify our differences, we're not to use that to make fun of or to slander or to oppress, but we can see our differences and we can celebrate. We can celebrate diversity. We can celebrate the different things that make us what we are. We can celebrate that we're richer as humanity when we celebrate our diversity, and as we seek to share and develop common values such as love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and faithfulness. So with that in mind, we're doing this for a little bit of fun. And if you remember a couple of weeks back, we did a word and it was called dreich. Dreich, if you can say that. That is spelled D-R-E-I-C-H. And unlike today, which is quite a nice sunny morning, dreich is when it's overcast and it's dull and it's grey and everything's sad. You think of a November rainy afternoon. That in Scotland is dreich. If you've got it right, if you knew what it was, make sure you send in your kind of notes. Well, you've got it right now because I've just told you the answer. You can win some Iron Brew. Today's word is belter. Belter. What does it mean? How do you spell it? How would you use it? Take care everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.
I'm just as confused as all the other weeks, but that's what makes it so much fun, isn't it? So if you know the word, comment below or DM us, and we'll put you into the running for a 4-pack of Iron Brews, which, you know, just silly fun, but we'll have one shipped to you. Now over to Sophie and the Mean Girls.
Gretchen, I'm sorry I laughed at you that time you got diarrhea at Barnes & Noble, and I'm sorry I told everyone about it. And I'm sorry for repeating it now.
Laura, I don't hate you because you're fat. You're fat because I hate you.
I just wish we could all get along like we used to in middle school. I wish that I could bake a cake made out of rainbows and smiles and we'd all eat it, be happy.
She doesn't even go here.
Do you even go to this school?
No, I just have a lot of feelings.
Okay, go home.
Sharon, I think you're doing a great job.
Thanks, I feel like I'm getting through.
I'm sorry that people are so jealous of me, but I can't help it that I'm popular.
Yes, that was a clip from the movie Mean Girls. And I love in the clip the girl who's like, oh, I have all these emotions. And the guy's like, dude, you don't even go here. It's funny. But we didn't pick this clip just because it's funny. We picked it also because it kind of highlights the faithfulness aspect that we were talking about. So we see at the end where Gretchen is up on the platform. She's saying like, well, I can't help it if you guys hate me because I'm popular. And then everyone moves away and Karen is the only one left standing. So Karen is one of her friends and she stood there and she's supportive and she's like, I'm gonna catch you. Obviously it doesn't go quite well, but she's there. And that's the thing with faithfulness, because you can talk about it, you can say you're being faithful, but until you're actually doing it, actually putting it into action, actually doing something about it, will people know that you're faithful? And with Gretchen, would she know that Karen would be faithful to her unless Karen was actually stood there waiting, catching her? So think about that, faithfulness. It's an action, not just a word.
Just like Sophie said, we actually have to do something. We have to put our words into action. Remember last week a lot of us posted these black boxes and well, that's not really enough. We need to do more than that. So this week we need to put those words that we said last week about Black Lives Matter or I'm an anti-racist, we need to put those into action. And so there's still the resources that we're talking about on the website. Keep checking those out, keep using those. Please add to them if you can. But now that that first step of learning and listening is taking place, we need to actually do something. We need to be active. We need to call out. We need to speak out. If we hear anything, we need to actively include people that are different from ourselves. And that's a lot harder, isn't it? It's easy to repost something, but to tell your mate to stop using a racial slur is a whole other conversation, as a ridiculous example. We have to be deliberate in our choices, to be faithful and to our promises and to our fellow human beings. For Christians, there's this added layer of the word faithfulness, as in being full of faith in God. And the Bible talks about faith as being something that's given to those who believe. It's not something that's earned or achieved, but it's not about us trying harder and sort of striving to have more faith. God fills us with it. God gives it to us for free. And that is not something that we always necessarily feel, but it doesn't mean it's not true. Just like with our best friends or our family members, we don't always feel mushy-gushy and lots of love towards them, or like they're the people that we want to hang out with all the time. But we know that when push comes to shove, we're going to be faithful to them. We're going to do everything we can to help them. So being a faithful friend or a boyfriend or girlfriend is a choice that we have to make all the time. We have to choose to do the right thing. We have to choose to set aside time. We have to choose to be faithful. And being faithful is not the opposite of being unfaithful or of cheating, which we often think of it as, but I think faithful is a lot more, because faithfulness is about prioritizing that relationship. It's about making time for that relationship, and it's standing up for that relationship. So let's pretend that you know, things are back to normal, you're in school, and one of your best friends is being bullied, right? That's not an unlikely scenario. And what is it to be faithful in that context? Is it just not joining in with the bullying? Of course not. You're not being a faithful friend then. What would be a faithful friend would be either standing up to the bullies or at least helping your friend get away from the bullies. Or it's catching Gretchen when she's dumb enough to insult the whole school and does a trust fall. So what do you think? What do you think it's about when we talk about being faithful? What does that look like? What does it mean to be faithful to a friend? What does it mean to be a faithful person to everyone around us, to all humans, regardless of what skin color they have? What does it mean to faithfully celebrate diversity, to faithfully celebrate that we're all different, like Brian talked about earlier? Comment below. Let us know what that means for you, how you understand that. We all want to learn. I'm sure that you have some really good thoughts, and we'd love to hear them. All right, TikToks, one of our favorite things. 5 amazing, hilarious TikToks, and here is a countdown for this week. Number 5.
Guys! 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 Come back! Guys! No! Stop! No! Come back! Come back!
Number 4.
What did I just walk into?
3.
That's just my baby dog. That's just my baby dog. That's just my baby dog. He.
Number 2. And our very favorite TikTok of the week is bing, right here.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
All right. Thank you so much for joining us yet again. Do the usual stuff. We're going to link to a couple of things here, like our websites and our Instagrams. Hit us up. We want to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.